This is one of my favorite spots. I brought a chair here. Say hello to my hiking cat. What's up, Milo? I put a chair right here probably 4 years ago, and I would sit right here and the sun would be perfectly overhead, just blazing on me, especially in the summertime. I think this was around 2020, I believe. I was playing Red Dead Redemption. I remember I'd come out here and I'd sit for hours and I'd just soak up the sun. I put a chair right here, right? Middle of the woods, middle of the Pine Barrens. I come here one day and someone shoots it with a shotgun and there's pieces all over the place. And I just can't for the life of me understand why someone would do that. See, if I see something that's not mine, I don't touch it. That's not mine. I was doing nothing other than just sitting right here, enjoying nature, soaking up the sun, and someone shot it with a shotgun. What is up with this world? What is up with this world? People are just waxing worse and worse as the end draws nigh. It's really quite sad. And I don't know where all the pieces were. Someone did cleanup. There used to be a big stump here. Is this part of my chair leg? This is part of my chair leg. Oh my gosh. But this is the spot in which my friend and I were at. 1 o'clock in the morning. We were probably sitting right here. We were just laughing, freestyling, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We cracked a few beers or whatever, and we hear what sounds like a tank that grew legs and started running directly at you, coming from that direction. Now let's go up the trail. I'll go up the trail. I'll show you what it looks like. There is no trail that shoots straight forth. The trail wraps around that way and then it comes back that way. But there's no straight line, you know? And it sounded like it was running directly at us. 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm talking doof, 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 doof. Enough to raise every hair on your body. And my friend was, he was in the wild in Oregon for multiple months, so he knows what's up with, you know, wilderness experiences or what have you. But the way he looked at me made my whole face turn white, I'm sure of it. Never heard that ever in my life. And for 20 seconds, it sounds like it's running, getting closer. It sounds like it's a mile, maybe 2 miles out. Shout out God and beautiful nature. And shout out God and my hiking cat. Hallelujah. And we get up and we leave the beer there because we're up and we're running. No lights, no nothing. One of the scariest moments ever. The Pine Barrens is weird. And there was this instance where I was hearing this phantom music playing. And middle of summer, you'd hear people walking on the dry pines. And I'm hearing this phantom music. I'm sitting in my Florida room. So I go investigate. I walk up to a little ridge right by my house. And it sounds almost like chill hop type of Jamaican type of instrumentals. But you don't hear anybody walking at all. It's just a peaceful instrumental. And so I go investigate. And I'm up there, it's pitch black, right? So if someone's on their phone, you see definitely a glow of some sort. You hear them walking on the dry pines, you hear something. And the sound is undulating. It sounds like it's coming from the far right, and then it undulates all the way to the complete left-hand side in a snap of a finger. And I'm very curious, and I take a few steps forward, and then it undulates completely to the other side. Like, this is very weird. And then in an instant, in a moment's notice, it felt like a wave. It felt like a wave of sound came, and it sounded like it was 5 feet in front of me. It sounded decently far out, but then within a microsecond, it was 5 feet in front of me. I could not explain what that is. I got scared. I ran inside. So as you can see, the trail splits off to the left here and to the right. But no one's running through that. No one's running through the pineberry brush like that, unimpeded. And it sounded, dude, I'm telling you, I can't. And my right hand to God with that one. And if I could ever get my friend, that friend of mine and I had a big fallout. But if I can ever reunite with him, I'd love to get a dual testimony. But there's definitely something in the Pine Barrens, man. And it's of spiritual sorts. There are times I come back here and I'm at perfect peace. Hallelujah. And I come back here and it just feels like everything is wrong. Something is wrong. Can't put your finger on it. And I'm a firm believer in the spiritual relevance of this world, especially in you know, hot key places. There are a lot of them, especially around national parks in the United States. Like, something's up, and the higher ups know something more than what they're letting on. I believe it's of spiritual nature. Now, I know God will never let us get demolished before our time is up. But sometimes I walk back here and I'm like, something's up. Should have brought my gun today. Why don't I bring my gun when I'm hiking back here? Well, probably because God didn't give us the spirit of fear, but maybe I should bring it. And watching a lot of missing 411 cases, very interesting topic. I got lost in it for a little bit because there was a case literally 3 or 4 miles away from my house here, and it was right across the street from this guy. His name is Darren. He owns this boxing place called Checkmate Boxing, and it was right across the street at a college. And that guy would come into, I worked at a liquor store, he would come in there all the time. He was a world champion middleweight boxer, actually. Not quite sure if it was middleweight or heavyweight, but he was a world champion boxer. Nicest dude ever. But there was a missing 411 case there where this professor who was working at the college forever, he was retired but lived right next to the college. He was out walking around. One second he would take this walk every single day. One second he was seen and he poofed out of existence. No one ever saw him again. Nobody used, you know, his you know, credit cards or money or whatever the case is. Poofed out of existence. And there's a bunch of missing 411 cases that cannot be explained. Now, you can call me crazy. I'm a believer in the portal theory. I think that there are portals that open up and you walk into other realms of reality. Whatever that entails. I think it was shown kind of in Stranger Things. You call me crazy. I don't care. This is just my personal opinion. It's woo-woo stuff. But, you know, Stranger Things, like the Upside Down, like you enter into a different realm of reality. And there was just times I've been back here and it was just all wrong for no reason. You know what I mean? But watching all those missing 411 videos, that kind of got me scared for a while. Like, I can't even come back here. I'm going to get kidnapped. And a lot of the people who go missing are like highly spiritual type of, you know, believers in God and, you know, have a moral compass and they try to do good in this world. Those are the people who disappear. You never see like the thugged out gangsters who robbed 9 people go missing. It's the people who have high moral standards for the most part, according to Dave Politis. Because I haven't done much research for this myself, you know, just whatever he says and whatever other people like make videos on or what have you. But there's high strangeness in this world. I can't understand atheists because obviously someone made this beautiful, perfect world. Everything works in perpetual perfection. What's up, my boy? What's up, my boy? Who's your boy? Oh, yes. My boy. Oh, yes. You're such a bag of meat. You know that? Can't believe you've been with me 11 years. You're an old man. You are an old man. Like, who made this earth? Who made the human body so infinitely complex? Oh, my goodness. I mean, everything works in perpetual perfection from the heart. How can you explain a DNA strand? That just came from nothing? A Big Bang created everything, and then everything made perfection. What? And then if you subscribe to the globe theory, which I clearly don't, I think there's a firmament separates the heavens above from the earth below, as according to the Holy Bible. That's what I believe. In fact, quote unquote, whatever flat earth, I don't believe that the earth is flat, but whatever flat earth actually led me to Christ. I remember learning about flat earth in 2016. Right alongside with Mandela effect, which I'm not quite sure. I believe that things are wonky in this world. I'm not quite sure how to feel about the Mandela effect though, but Someone had to have made this. How can you be atheist? Ever since I was a wee lad, I believe in God. What, are you dumb? Of course there's a creator. Of course. I mean, I remember one day I was going to school, and I lived off of a lake, Lake Mohawk in Sparta, New Jersey. And we'd be driving down the East Shore Trail. And one day the lake was perfectly still. There wasn't one ripple at all on this lake. It's the biggest man-made lake in at least the United States. And as we were going up and down these different hills, you could see a perfect inverted reflection of all the houses that were like on the coast. As if like if you were looking into the lake, you wouldn't be able to tell that that wasn't reality if you had a frame of reference. And all I could think in like 5th grade was, man, God had to have made all of this. I remember playing Mario Kart 64 as a wee lad. I mean, probably 5, 6 years old. And for whatever reason, I thought God was the big penguin on the side of the ice level. There's just this big penguin standing there. I thought that was God. I didn't know what God was. I didn't have a frame of reference. I just always believed. And even my great-grandma died when I was 6 years old. And my mom tells me, I don't remember this, but my mom told me that when she died, I like tugged on her shirt or whatever. And I went, don't worry, Mom. Great-grandma's in heaven. And I didn't know what heaven was. I didn't know what hell was. You know what I mean? Never really went to church like that. I did have this Purple Adventure Bible that I never read more than maybe like 2 or 3 chapters in Matthew. I didn't understand what was going on. I thought it was just all baloney. But I believed in God. I believed that everything happens for a reason, essentially. And my heart hurts for atheists, you know? Like, you really think that all this happened by accident? Like the earth is just, if we were 2,000 miles closer to the sun, then all of us would be cooked? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That all happened by accident. Yeah, right. What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking? But who provides the faith? God provides the faith. I can't force myself to have faith in anything. Like, no matter how hard I put my head down and steam starts coming out of my ears like Majin Buu, I can't force myself to have faith in the Democratic Party. You know what I mean? I can't force myself to have faith in Jesus.